GED Finkel here. Let's talk about codedfriend.001. It's not a 001, it's an 001. Okay. Who is this guy? I don't know much about. Okay, he's got videos 7 months, 10 months, year old. Let's go to oldest. He's been in the YouTube world for at least 2 years. How about his live activity? He's got streams 2, 3, 4, 10 days ago. Let's go to oldest. Okay. He's been doing live streams for a year. Videos for 2 years, live streams for a year. Okay. What do I know about Coded? I know he got a vote recently. I've seen him in chat a few times. Don't know much about him. How can I psychoanalyze Coded? What would I have to know about his background? Let's say I want to critique one of his recent streams and psychoanalyze him based on, let me see, Shuggy's receipts. I don't know this acronym, NTFG. Becca Lies again. Becca Lies. Okay, he's got something going on with someone named Shuggy. I don't know anything about Shuggy either. I don't know. I'm going to need help psychoanalyzing this guy that I don't even know. I've seen a video or two. I've seen him in chat in a few different places. But I want to psychoanalyze him because that's what we do on YouTube. We psychoanalyze each other. So I'm gonna go for some help. Who can help me psychoanalyze this guy? Oh, these folks, the top-tiered psychoanalysis on the planet. Let's give them a little go, shall we? Okay, so these characters, they know Coded very, very well. These people are qualified to psychoanalyze this guy because they've watched every bit of every video he's ever put on YouTube. For the last year, every live stream, and for the last 2 years, every video. So they know exactly what he means, what he implies, how he's feeling about it. So these three geniuses, who are there? Shiz, PhD Phony, and Scotto. All right, let's see what Coded has to say and how they're going to psychoanalyze him.
Sorry, I'm not just going to take your fucking word for shit.
But he wants everyone else to take his word for things.
Logan says my yell made the neighbor's dog bark. Sweet. Gave you an easy fucking solve, dude. Prove me wrong. Just put up the HM veteran card with your picture. Block out the rest of the information.
What is an H? What do you H is a veteran card? This must be some sort of foreign service. Foreign to me. I'm an American. This sounds something like a DD-214. So, Coded Friend C001 apparently wants someone to put up receipts that somebody else, I'm assuming Shuggy, has served in a military service in accordance with Shuggy's claims. We've seen this before. YouTube character 1 makes some claims. YouTube character 2 doesn't really fully understand or accept or acknowledge those claims. So YouTube character 2 says, YouTube character 1, prove it. Show me your government documents that prove that you are a veteran. In American language, that's DD-214. We've seen that before. It's an established thing on YouTube here. We do it. I've done it. I admit it.
You want to resolve the conflict. Otherwise, you don't.
Or you could just pull the records.
Or your military service is bullshit.
Or you could have researched before you opened your fucking mouth.
Oh, wait a minute. That's a little different. I don't know anything about doing the research for this certificate of service. Data's taken. Yeah, this handling instruction. Yeah, I don't know what this is. This is not something I have access to, except for what's shown on YouTube. So basically, the voice you just heard said, do the research yourself. Huh, okay. So would that apply to American veterans asking another American veteran to prove his service by doing their own research? I mean, the American veterans in question have access to it. We know how to FOIA request redacted versions. We know how to cheat the system if we want to say we're immediate family. So we have the, but instead of doing that and then calling the guy out, we just repeatedly, over and over and over again, ask the other veteran, the other American veteran, to prove it. This looks like what it looks like what Coded's doing here. He's doubting someone else's service and he's asking for proof. Okay.
HM veteran card, but that didn't stop you
HM, His Majesty's Service, Her Majesty's Service. I'm guessing. I don't know.
from putting some random twinkish bagpiper up as the picture. Your service is a fucking joke to you, Shuggy.
A veteran or person claiming another potentially veteran who hasn't been proven to be a veteran yet, his service is a joke. Yeah, I could psychoanalyze. I mean, hell, a bunch of us just spent a couple of months psychoanalyzing someone who had military claims, but we kept demanding his DD-214. All right.
All that talk with Dan about, the days the two of you spent in Her Majesty's service.
He's so stuck on
And,
not being
how
accepted
it's
by the
top
Welsh
secret
News
stuff.
social group.
That voice right there, not too long ago, kind of went off on my channel and a couple other channels that interact with me. What was the quote? They thought I was hot until I got mad at them. Wow. This is delusion. Nobody that I know of ever called this person hot. I never thought this person was hot. But we're psychoanalyzing Coded. Okay, let's continue.
Sworn to secrecy, and you can't talk about it. But then, Dan knew instinctually. Everyone.
Dan, back
So
up,
Dan
back up,
started
back up,
fucking
Shuggy,
talking about it,
Shuggy.
and you jumped there right in and talked about it with him.
There are 2 points I'd like to make, actually.
Okay, everyone, quiet. We're going to psychoanalyze them. 2 points from PhD Phony. Enlighten us, PhD.
One, nobody owes Coded any sort of explanation.
Translation. Nobody owns F3 any sort of explanation. Toddler made claims, granted, many unbelievable claims about his military service. For months, F3 led the charge for demanding an explanation. Thank you to PhD Phony. Thank you very much for clearing that up. I've come to realize that. Yeah, Toddler makes a lot of stupid. In fact, just the other day he did it again. I called Cadence for an entire battalion on a battalion run. We all know that's not how it works. But is it okay for us to say, hey, show us your DD-214? Hey, show us your HM card? I don't know what that is. Is that something like a DD-214? Thank you, PhD Phony. I do appreciate that. F3, myself, everyone who ever challenged Toddler for DD-214, we have stand corrected. Thank you for clearing that up. Okay.
Nobody, again, this is the opposite of how things work. If you have evidence that someone is lying, fine. But if you don't just assume that they're lying and say that it's a fact until they prove you wrong. That's not how anything works.
Well, in real life, you're right. That's not how anything works. It doesn't work in courts. It doesn't work in business. Apparently, it happens on YouTube all the friggin' time. But we're psychoanalyzing someone's YouTube presence based on zero knowledge of his real life, right?
Onus of proof is on the accuser.
That would be in a court of law. The proof is on the accuser. This is YouTube. You know better.
You know, the reality of what's happening is down to what the evidence supports. If you don't have any evidence, you shouldn't be expressing an opinion. You can't be certain that what
Shouldn't be expressing an opinion. If you have a YouTube channel and you have an opinion, whether it's based on facts or not, whether it's based on what are opinions based on? You should never, ever, ever share your opinion until you formulate it into fact. PhD Phony, welcome to anti-social media. YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitter, you name it. It's anti-social media. Let's continue.
you are saying is correct. So asserting that it is a fact is in fact a lie. You don't know that this person is lying, so claiming he's lying when you don't know that it's a fact is a lie.
How do you know that he's asserting something he doesn't know to be a fact? Does Coded know Shuggy and Becca in person? Has there been any off YouTube activity? Have you watched all of Coded's material to find out if there's any basis in what he's asserting? I don't know the other two YouTube channels. Becca and Shuggy, do they have channels? What have they said? I don't know. Do you know? Have you put in all these hours to watch all these videos? Let's go back. Some go back a year. Some go back 2 years. Are you able to assert where Coded got his opinions to assert? I don't know.
It's a lie. It's not the way reality.
You're asserting that something is a lie based on you've watched hours and hours and hours of YouTube interchange. You're aware of their in-person interchanges. You're asserting something based on an opinion that... Are you 100% sure? Are you asserting a fact, or are you asserting an opinion as a fact? Is that therefore the definition of a lie? Not saying, I'm asking. You tell me. You're apparently the expert here.
But he works. Even if you turn out to be right, you didn't know you were right. So it's just blind luck.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Is it just blind luck, or have you actually watched all of these interactions? I know I haven't. I can assert nothing here. I can opine. I can form an opinion. I can share that opinion. Am I being dishonest? Am I asking you questions, or am I making accusations? Interesting.
So you know, this is the opposite of how fact-based discourse works. Anyway.
Oh, fact-based discourse. PhD Phony, welcome to anti-social media. Did I mention YouTube? Did I mention Discord? Kind of rhymes with discourse. X, Facebook. See a lot of facts on these mediums.
Go on.
He's the opposite of how a lot of things work, to be fair.
Yep.
I am going to bump him up just a bit.
Oh, thank you.
You know, now it's a big fucking joke. The whole time you were talking with Dan, you never mentioned being in the Intel Corps. You didn't bring that up till after you let Dan attack Josh at, verbally at every level on his service.
I'm going to estimate. Let's say 3-month window. About 2 months into the 3-month window, this guy who called cadence for an entire battalion, this guy who met his wife 34 years ago and she just celebrated her 50th birthday, this guy also called that guy. If you follow my channel, you know who I'm talking about. About 2 months into back and forthing about the DD-214 and about parts of his service, suddenly out of nowhere, he's got sniper training. He had never mentioned the sniper training before. How did these people react to that alleged sniper training? Yeah, I get it. We later found out it was a day or two of familiarization with a old, antiquated sniper weapon. But we just jumped all over that. So, Coded is accusing Shuggy of making up somewhere late in their relationship. When I say relationship, I mean their awareness of each other and going back and forth. Somewhere late into this, suddenly Shuggy has a new aspect of his claimed, her, I don't know, is it he or her, claimed military service, and that includes intel work. Okay. Based on not having heard that before, PhD Phony, what do you got to say about that?
You sat there with a thumb up the ass and a thumb in the mouth and
I don't remember that.
sucked. And then you went over and fucking bought trinkets off eBay to give it to Josh.
Did that lady just say she doesn't remember that? Ta-da. I don't remember that. She's admitting that we don't know everything that's been said between the characters involved, Coded, Shuggy, and Becca. But they're going to jump right in there and psychoanalyze the situation. Yay! Let's continue.
To cozy up to him, and then all of a sudden
He's
you're
so
an intel
mad
guy
that we
just
all
like
send
Josh.
each other stuff. Like there's him that we meet up, we send each other stuff.
I hear him expressing anger at Shuggy. I hear him expressing disdain for Becca. Where's the anger? I'm not hearing anger. But, okay. We see what we want to see, and we hear what we want to hear.
Like, it geeks him out.
Geeks him out?
He
Again,
wants
he's
that.
just
He can't have it.
he's just making a bunch of assertions about what happened in the past, and trying to draw conclusions that don't follow from them.
Because PhD Phony has followed all of this all along. He is just making assertions about the past. How much about this past, this timeline between Shuggy, Coded, and Becca does PhD Tony know? I would never assert that just what Scotto and Shiz has shown him. I would never assert that. But let's continue.
You didn't mention your intelligence service until later. So what? What does that prove?
He could have
That
never
proves-
mentioned it at all if he wanted to.
Yeah, that proves absolutely fucking nothing. He may never have mentioned he was in the service until the last point yourself, judge of other people, simply because you don't like them. And this may come across as hypocritical in that I'm judging him.
Might it? I don't know. What might come across as you being hypocritical and you're judging him?
Judging him on the evidence that is right in front of me here.
This little, what are they, a few minutes into this stream, and how many are there? There's 3 streams, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5. So that's what, we're looking at over 9 hours. Did you watch all this? And do you know the history behind it? Or are you just judging him based on, I can't make that out. He's very short into this. Okay, continue, Tony, continue.
What he's saying right now. I'm not saying anything about his service. I'm not saying anything about his personal life. I'm not saying anything about anything other than what he's saying right here, which I have evidence for. I can respond to the fact that he's just being a dick here.
He's just being a dick. A male penis, a cock, okay. All right, and based on just a few minutes. Okay, sure, he's coming across a certain way, but why is he coming across that certain way? Do you know? Do I know? Does Scotty, does Shin know? I don't know, but you've come to a pretty quick opinion about him being a penis.
He's saying, I'm going to continue repeating these lies until you show me evidence that they're not lies.
He actually did not say lie. Let's listen to that again.
Respond to the fact that he's just being a dick here. He's saying, I'm going to continue repeating these lies until...
I'm going to continue repeating these lies. He didn't claim that he was telling lies. He claimed the other person was telling lies. Did I hear that right? I want to make sure I get this right, just on the evidence before me.
He's saying, I'm going to continue repeating these lies.
I'm going to continue repeating these lies. Coda, did you ever claim that what you were saying is lies and that you're going to keep repeating them?
Until you show me evidence that they're not lies. Well, that's not how anything works. You're being
So backwards.
You're being a fuckwit, and people are going to criticize you for being
a fuckwit, not a misinformed, not a dishonest person. But let's actually use fuckwit. Fuckwit. Okay. You are definitely higher caliber than the rest of us, PhD Phony.
being a fuckwit until you stop being a fuckwit. That's how this works. So if you're unhappy that you're being called a fuckwit, don't do fuckwit things. This is a fuckwit thing that you're doing.
A lot of fuckwittery going on the YouTube. A lot of fuckwittery. I do fuckwit things. I'm a fuckwit. PhD Phony. You fit the description. You too, sir, are a fuckwit.
Oh, that car agreed.
Can I just say I'm here for potty mouth Tony tonight?
Me too. Flooding the basement.
Stories about your military service. Your stories don't line up. Dan's stories didn't, certainly.
Fraud is when by false means you obtain money or other things of value from somebody under false premises. Even if Shuggy were lying, and I've got no evidence to believe that that's the case, this would not be fraud, right? It could be stolen valor, which, but it isn't fraud.
GED Finkel here to explain something to you, PhD Phony. Stolen valor is literally fraud. It is using a fabricated military history to gain favor or profit or benefits. It is the literal meaning of fraud. It's a very specific type of fraud. But that's just my uneducated opinion.
So don't throw around terms with strict legal meanings, particularly when this guy was pedanting over whether or not Chile was rightfully arrested or whatever. He was harping on about whether or not.
Lawyers on both sides of the Chile incident disagree. People educated specifically in the law. But here comes PhD Phony. He's going to tell us how it is with Chile. Okay.
This was a crime and blah, blah, blah. Well, don't go throwing around the word fraud if you don't know what it fucking means.
Fraud fucking means a lie, a deceit, a dishonesty for gaining profit or status or... Come on. I am a high school dropout, Dr. Phony. You have the intelligence to know what fraud is. It includes stolen valor. It includes anything where you deceive for gain, profit, status, YouTube status. We've all seen it before. Fraud at Wrangler. I'm a staff sergeant with more than 10 years in the military. I got 3 Purple Hearts or 2, whatever. It's fraud. Is it prosecutable fraud? Kind of hard to prosecute, but it is fraud. When people present themselves as something they're not, or present something as something that isn't, for gain. Especially a monetized YouTube channel. Oh look, this YouTube channel is monetized. You're not being completely honest and you're making money. Is this prosecutable fraud? No. Is it fraud? Yes. It's in the dictionary, man. Even us GEDs can look up the word fraud in a goddamn dictionary.
Because it doesn't mean any lie. That's not what fraud is. Fraud has a very specific thing. It's getting money off people.
Not just money, but benefits and status.
And I've no evidence.
And if you disagree with me, ask anybody. Ask anybody who's gone after fraud at Wrangler for his lies about his military service. Ask almost anybody who's gone after Miles Murphy, toddler. What's his name? Generally specific. Come on. And he's just barely embellishing. He gets his facts messed up. He actually did serve when people said, show us your DD-214, including me. I admit it. I'm not perfect. I demanded DD-214s too, and I made fun of the way he articulates. But more than half of these people who sided with me, with F3, with Shiz, with Scotto, they all call it fraud. They all call it stolen valor. Get with the program, Tony.
Evidence whatsoever that Shuggy was obtaining money from anyone or anything of value from anyone. So you are just lying here.
Now, again, do you know what Coded is talking about? Maybe you do. Maybe you're in a close, personal, real-world friendship or acquaintance with him, and you know all these details. Or do you, as you said, you just know what's right in front of you, this few minutes of this video you're reviewing?
Well, and before he spun out, I told him there's only solid evidence that one person.
Talking about
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Lack of evidence.
There's no
looks
evidence
like-
when you don't research. That's a lack of evidence that you're creating.
If you have no evidence, you should withhold judgment. That's how science works.
I would concur. If you have no evidence, withhold judgment. We all fail. I'm not picking on PhD Phony here. We've all done it. But it's not how things work. People do this all the time.
Is dark matter real? Well, there's evidence. There's some evidence for it. There's some evidence against it. At the moment, we don't know. So I don't say that it's real. I don't say that it's not real because I don't have evidence.
Very good. You don't know. But here you are opining as if you know that Coded is lying. Okay.
Can I point
This is
something
the-
out?
No.
Coded
Sorry.
is very religious, and there's a lack of concrete evidence that God exists. So this is a really weird point for him to try
Is he religious? Or does he claim to have knowledge of Christian texts?
to make. Thank you.
It is a really weird point. Without evidence, you should withhold judgment. Without evidence, you should refrain from saying anything.
Whether he's religious or he's read Christian texts and thinks he understands them better than the rest, he has an opinion. And I'm sorry, if you don't think people with opinions should share their opinions, you're in the wrong place. You're not on a news channel. You're not on a talk show. You're on friggin' YouTube. You're on anti-social media.
And also, there's a difference. There's a difference. If you came up to Shuggy and said, "Look, given all that happened with Dan and previous events of stolen valor, would it be possible to see any evidence of your service? Would you be willing to
And now PhD Phony is channeling Todd. If they came to me nicer, I would have given them my 214.
to give that, but that isn't in any sense what he's doing. What he's doing is just fucking bloviating, shooting his mouth off, spewing random unsubstantiated nonsense. Off, spewing random unsubstantiated nonsense.
One more time.
What he's doing is just fucking, bloviating, shooting his mouth off, spewing random unsubstantiated nonsense, and saying, well, I'm going to continue doing it until he presents evidence that I should stop. Well, fuck you then. Like, if you're going to be a dickhead about it.
Fuck you then. I've been doing a social experiment with YouTube for quite a while, and I've stuck to one thing. If you don't like what somebody said, ignore them. Don't respond. You're going to bloviate for 4 hours and 18 minutes. based on something that impacts you how? Well, impacts you enough to spend 4 hours and 18 minutes on a channel who hates to go more than an hour at a time. It makes her nervous.
No, I'm not going to show you the evidence. Like, you get nothing from me. If you're just going to be a fuckwit, you get treated like a fuckwit. You get put in your little box and treated as the obnoxious irrelevance that you are.
You're putting someone in their box? Looks to me like someone's on a YouTube channel. I'm like, I get it. You're being, you're using artistic language. This guy's going to have his followers. We've tried to put people in boxes before, and let me tell you, PhD, we have failed. Michael Kaiser has done nothing but grown. Toddler has grown. You know, we think we're putting him in a box, and what we're doing is helping them grow. What you're just doing is you're sending clicks and views during to Coded's way. But you think you're putting him in a box. You think you got him cornered now.
Anyway,
Period. Get him, Tony.
I can't understand why they would lie to me about this. I just don't believe that they would lie.
You believe. You're sharing an opinion, not knowing if what people in chat are telling you are lies or not. You have no way to verify it, but here you are, what was your word? Bloviating about it. Okay.
And the reality is that I don't, in fact, have personal motivation to check the factuality of Shuggy's claims. Shuggy seems a nice guy. I'm happy with what he says.
Well, and Josh Stone Vet flat out said, he's like, he hasn't said anything so crazy that I doubt it. All he talks about basic service. He's like, no one's going to make up basic service.
That woman questioned, was he really in the military? Months after I showed my DD-214. But is he really in? Questioned me. In fact, how old is this guy? Was he Korea? Was he in Korea in the 1950s? No, silly. I was in Korea in 1991. But what was my point here? My GED, I'm not flexing it. There's nothing inspirational about a GED. I dropped out of high school and I tested out. No big fucking deal. My sergeant, after years of military service, is a mediocre career. I'm not flexing my military service. But, what's her name up there? She questioned, is he really in the military? After my interview with Master Sergeant Retired. After my interview with Master Retired, she questioned, is he really in the military? But let's continue.
But he is coded saying, look, all these other people claim to have seen it, but I still don't believe it because I'm the only person who's...
He basically chose to believe what a bunch of people in chat are telling him, but he won't take the word that a bunch of people coded something. I get it, there's a standard, but shouldn't the standard be the same on both sides of the issue? Just asking.
Whose opinion matters in this scenario.
The mental gymnastics.
Carry on.
You're icky. You're a fucking icky person. Icky.
Oh no, not icky.
Wow.
Yeah, icky. And PhD Tony sees we should talk about Coded's vagina. Obviously, Coded is a male, and I get it. It's YouTube. It's anti-social media. We do stuff like this. But in the last 55 minutes, Mr. PhD has repeated several times about sexualizing stuff. Coded is the male, and Lisa says that we should talk about Coded's vagina, and it's right up there for all to see. He's looking at his computer screen, and he's not commenting on it. All right.
Wow, icky.
Ouch, bud.
Truly scathing.
Yeah, and now he's going to mock using the word icky, when earlier Coded did use some more sexually derogatory comments. Well, that's okay, fuckwit, dick, and let's pay no attention to talking about Coded's vagina.
Old. Discord archives.
Oh, fuck a bunch of Discord. Don't go there, Coded. Don't go there.
Okay, so this is from the Shiz Discord on May the 9th.
All right.
He thinks it's like some attack, like it's oh Gia, no, because that pissed him off last time.
Oh, okay. And this is why I'm doing this $500 thing. It is the last money I'm giving through YouTube, and actually, I think the three top potential winners are all agreeing that they're going to take the Cash App. Gia just gave pretty close to $30 to YouTube. YouTube is a very wealthy company. It's part of Google, a very, very wealthy company. She just gave him another $30 with the motivation of, quote, pissing him off. This will piss him off. That's the reason Gia gave this money. Yeah. I've done it. I've done super chats to piss people off. But, you know, these people on the panel are higher caliber than that.
He was like, I'm not even mad about that. I'm not mad about that.
Oh, maybe not. Okay. Well, yeah, this cupcake, she's going to get $70 and YouTube's going to get $30. So she's happy. Someone just threw $70 at her.
But she just wanted all the Welsh Sims because Gia. I love it. Thank you.
Of course you love it. You're getting free money.
Response to that, Shiz says, or Welsh Wrangler 777, I believe it's Shiz, says, that's my thing. I rewatched their copium streams after Kate and I called him out about the FBI shit, and they all doubled down on the lie for him. You want receipts, Shuggy? You want
Okay.
Shuggy? You want?
Because they were his friends. We went over that.
Yeah, so
There's an
this is, well, to me, there
Oh,
are
sorry.
two
I meant to
issues.
keep that super chat up, so when he tries to watch through this on his stream, it makes him mad to see it. Continue.
So, Gia gives the money for the motivation of pissing him off through $100. Gave YouTube, a very wealthy company, $30. Gave Shiz $70. I've done it too. But now we just heard Shiz agree with that.
Keep that super chat up, so when he tries to watch through this on his stream, it makes him mad to see it.
Her stated purpose for keeping that big red blob up there for a long period of time is to piss him off. They think they control others. And I've fallen for the same trap. YouTube's very good at marketing this. I can piss somebody off by throwing away $100 of my own. This is what we call anger. Anger is drinking poison, expecting the other person to get sick. YouTube just made $30. Shiz is going to keep it up there for a long time to do what? Hope the other person gets ill. You're drinking the poison, Gia. You're drinking the poison, Shiz. And as my social experiment has been teaching for 3 years, if you don't like something, ignore it. I'm pretty sure even if this really does piss off Coded, he's not going to tell you about it because 99.9% of his life is not on YouTube. You're never going to know if it really pissed him off unless he comes up on panel and says, that pissed me off. What are the odds of that happening? How long are you going to have this big red blotch, this monument to stupidity up, just hoping to piss him off? Why do you care so much?
Continue.
So he's got this thing where he's using your quotes as evidence against Shuggy, and yet you're reconciled with Shuggy and he isn't. So he's using your research. He's using
Well,
your...
even then.
Okay. All right. He's bloviating because he's given an opinion without research. Now he has research, but it's Shiz's research. So Tony, tell us, are you telling us that Shiz's research is not something we can rely on? That's what it sounds like to me. Surely you mean something else. But how well are you articulating that, PhD? How well are you articulating that?
Me and Shuggy were cool at the time, and I told him, like, this is bullshit. You know, this is bullshit. Like, it's not like I ever changed my stance on anything. Just
No.
because I'm friendly with someone doesn't mean I take any bullshit.
Okay, friendly or not, you've done the research. Coded has quoted you on it, and it's not trusted. Fair enough. I will accept your confession that your research is not trustworthy. Pretty much what you and Tony are saying.
I mean, that claim to me was instantly suspect. Like, there's no way that.
Instantly suspect. That's what we call contempt to prior investigation. Anyway, we are at 58 minutes. If we go beyond 58 minutes, Shiz gets nervous. She hates live streams longer than an hour. She's told us many, many times. How long does this red thing? Okay, looks like it's gone. Okay, she doesn't keep it up all night, which doesn't surprise me really. Yeah. Okay. Oh, another one. There it is. G, another 99 bucks. G has given away $200, $60. YouTube made $60 this evening just off Gia alone. Thank you, Gia, for helping out the big corporations who don't need a fucking penny from us. Falling down is part of life. Getting up is living. This will anger him. I'm going to throw away $200 to piss somebody off. This is how sad people are. This is just sad. Wow. Does it happen again? I don't know. Hey, I was pretty sad too. I know when I'm pointing fingers, I have four fingers pointing back at me. But that is why I am wrapping up my YouTube giveaways one last time. Tuesday night Eastern Time at 11:59 p.m. I will tally up all the votes, and someone's getting $500. YouTube is not going to get a fucking penny of that. And oh, by the way, other than my premium account, YouTube's not getting any more money off of me. I'm not monetized. I don't want you giving money to me and YouTube. I don't want you giving me money. But if you want to be angry at people and throw away your money, let me tell you, it doesn't really piss them off. I've tried to piss people off with $250 super chats. All I'm doing is making people smile, and not in a good way. What I'm doing is making the folks at YouTube smile. What you did here, Gia, is you gave YouTube $60. You gave Shiz Happens, we'll do the math, $140. Isn't that sweet? You gave YouTube and Shiz money in hopes that you're going to somehow stick it to COVID. COVID is squirming. Oh my God. Oh, somebody threw most of their money away on somebody else. PhD Tony, where's the psychoanalysis on that? This is why you are PhD Phony. I have flexed my GED against a PhD. Once again, cheerio.